guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's great to be with you tonight. It's Monday evening, October 21st, 2024. It's 9:20 p.m. And thanks for being here with me, whether you're live or whether at 9:20 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Doesn't really matter when you're with me. I'm just so grateful that you're here. Before we do kick off the show, I do want to let you know what the master topic of the week is in case you guys didn't know. Developing effective study habits. We're on series 3, by the way. And this is show number 43. And I do invite you guys to go grab that delicious, refreshing, or hot, wonderful beverage from your kitchen. And perhaps maybe a snack. Could be something healthy like nuts. Could be fruit, right? Or something else good for you like raisins. Or perhaps something not so healthy like chocolate or some candy or something else sweet, right? All right. So go ahead and dash off to get that. Welcome, everyone, to the Inspirations for Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And it is so great to be with you, as I said once before. And I'm also a podcast coach. This episode is dedicated to helping you transform your study game with the power of active learning techniques. Whether you're learning at aiming to ace exams, being a lifelong learner, pursuing new skills, or engaging where unpacking how these hands-on strategies can make a difference in your life is pretty key, especially in academics and personal growth. Today, or tonight, we're going to explore shifting from traditional passive learning to active dynamic approaches and how that can revolutionize your understanding, boost retention, and turn studying from a chore into an exciting journey of discovery. We're diving deep into these transformative techniques that don't just help you memorize, they help you master and apply knowledge in real-world situations. Let's break this down and give you the key benefits of active learning and see how incorporating these strategies can change the way you approach your education and learning. Hurry on back from the kitchen, guys. I want to get started. So let's talk about the first point, which is enhancing retention and comprehension. Active learning techniques such as interactive discussions, hands-on activities, and problem-solving tasks engage different parts of the brain, allowing you to process and retain information more effectively. This deeper engagement with the material helps reinforce memory and understanding, making it easier to recall and apply what you've already learned when it matters most. We've talked about the bell curve, right? So what you start learning here, right? It's like it kind of goes down, and then the more you study that, the more it kind of comes up, and the greater the retention level. So you start down here, and then it kind of comes up. The more you study, the more you use it, and eventually it comes up here, right? So that's really important. You don't learn the first time you do something. Unfortunately, it takes a few times, but then it sinks in, and when it sinks in, it's like, oh wow, that's pretty amazing, right? Really, really amazing. I think that's the most important thing that I want to share with you. And you might be saying, gee, what is it? Why is it this way? And I think it comes down to the fact that most people don't realize that you have to study something multiple times. That's a big key, ladies and gentlemen. A really, 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 really big, big key. So thinking about that, pay attention to what you learn and repeat it till it becomes second nature. Promoting critical thinking and problem-solving skills. When you actively participate in the learning process, you're not just memorizing facts, you're analyzing them, questioning them, and applying them to different scenarios. Active learning encourages you to think critically on your feet, whether you're on there or you're sitting, approach problems creatively, and develop solutions that require more than just the surface level or the, let's say, above the peak knowledge. We want to do what's below the mountain. Increase your engagement and your motivation. It's no secret that traditional lectures and reading assignments can sometimes feel boring or repetitive. I know, I went through this. But then I learned to love reading when I decided to read things that I wanted to read. Then I didn't mind what I read. Active learning breaks the monotony of incorporating dynamic elements such as group projects and debates and role playing, okay, or even technology-driven tools like gamification, which we talked about before, into a variety of very clever learning processes that are fresh and exciting and will make you more likely to stay motivated and focused on what it is that you're trying to absorb. You know, facilities, immediate feedback and reflection is key. So, active learning provides opportunities for immediate feedback, whether it's from peers, teachers, or self assessments you take on your own. This instant feedback loop, I call it, allows you to understand what you're doing right and where you need to improve, making your study sessions more productive. Reflecting on this can actually give you the feedback that'll help you fine tune your learning strategies that will lead to continuous and much greater progress. Encouraging collaboration, my friends, and communication skills through activities like group discussions, peer teaching, or collaborative projects. Active learning fosters a learning environment where you develop essential interpersonal skills. And these interactions help you to learn how to communicate ideas clearly, listen to different perspectives, and work as part of a team. That's right. Skills that are priceless beyond any classroom you'll ever attend. Adapting to different learning styles is something a lot of people don't get, but it's key to success in becoming a master of learning. One size does not fit all, my friends, when it comes to learning, and active learning recognizes this by offering various techniques that cater to different preferences. Whether you're a visual learner who benefits from diagrams and charts, an auditory learner who thrives in discussions, or a kinesthetic learner who needs hands on experiences, there's an active learning approach that's going to work for you. Why don't you start being creative and play? And I got to be honest, sometimes you will find that you actually do have that second modality. Most people have it, but they don't always figure it out for a while. Figure out whether you learn best one way and what's your second way. Reducing that forgetting curve. I talked about the bell curve, right? So the forgetting curve, because if you just study here, right, and you study and you're going to be like way down here, and you're going to forget that stuff, right? That you studied for that history test or whatever, science quiz tomorrow. So you want to keep studying it. That's why in college, they teach you something that's really great. I remember my psychology professor was a doctor, and she always said, there's a lot of information. And as soon as we got into class, she would start talking, and you had to open up your notebooks. And it's the kind of class that you would fail if you didn't read your notes. So it was the first thing I did after psychology class. I had a break. I would spend 5 minutes and I would just go through reading my notes because it was fresh in my head. And therefore, it was down. It was, let's say, it was right, maybe right over here. So it would kind of fall down, but it would kind of bring it back up. So doing that was really helpful to me. And so understanding that you have to keep priming the pump, right? What happens if you've got water to pump and suddenly the other end gets dry? Well, the pump is going to basically not be able to pump water. And eventually the pump could burn out, right? So forgetting curve is something that a lot of people don't realize, but you will forget if you don't reinforce. So this also emphasizes the fact about active learning strategies that are important to involve repetition. The mother of learning is repetition. It's not the only skill. And so repetitive engagements with material through varied activities. This continuous reinforcement will help keep the information fresh in your mind and significantly improved for your long-term retention. The thing is, it's not a 1, 2, 3, and you've got it, right? How many of you remember studying times tables? You guys remember times tables? Okay. So how long does it take the average kid to learn times tables? How long? Takes a while, doesn't it? So it's not something they learn in one day. One of the best ways to learn times tables is with money, right? And so when you can embrace a concept, when you can realize that you can take it in small little bites, okay? When kids learn times tables, they're learning multiplication. So the question is, should we teach children to memorize the multiplication tables? People are on the fence about this. One school actually put the times tables on their steps. And as they would go up the steps, every time they'd be able to see the times tables and get a quick glimpse of them. I think that's something that is very, very remarkable. When you can use things like food, it's how we learn fractions, right? We take food and we divide it. And when we divide it, it's like, oh, I get it. So I get that this is bigger than that, right? You get what a half is, and that a half is bigger than that, right? So understanding that can really give you a sense of accomplishment. Transforming learning from passive to dynamic, it could take a little work, but it is fun. Instead of being a passive receiver of information, like in a lecture hall, turn into something active. Techniques like simulations, interactive case studies, or even integrating technology and digital tools make learning an immersive and dynamic experience. By actively engaging in the learning process, you gain a deeper appreciation and understanding of the material. So let me see if I can say that again. If you think about something, like let's just say, for example, you have 3 cupcakes, right? And I put 3 more cupcakes out. So you immediately know 2 sets of 3, there's 6. Put 3 more out, there's, right? 3 sets of 3 is 9. But you get the visual representation of the connection. And I think it becomes very strong when kids start to assimilate this with money, right? You go into the candy store and they want 5 sticks of candy. And each stick of candy, let's say, is $2. Oh, they need $10. So they quickly are able to summarize and realize what a times table is. Now, you might be saying, John, as you're listening to me, how do we revamp the study game? That's what this is about tonight. It's about giving you what I call an unfair advantage. Is it really unfair? No, you're just doing the legwork so that later on, you don't have to put that much sweat into it. And although it seems like an unfair advantage, you're doing the work now. So later on, when it comes time to give the answer, you already have done it. People that don't know their times tables, well, they're going to have issues when they go to the hardware store and somebody says to them, I need 4 feet of lumber, but I need to put 1 piece of lumber on each side of the house. And there are 4 sides of this house, let's say. That's 12. If you don't know times tables, you're going to feel lost. But sometimes learning itself might be an enigma. So how do you feel comfortable to do times tables? Well, what do you like to learn? Is it embracing a what if concept from the sentiment of wonder? Or perhaps maybe it's the dynamic of changing 1 piece and seeing how 1 can become 2. Change it again, seeing how 2 can become 4. Change it again and seeing how you can get 8. Cutting those all in half, and now seeing that you get 16. When we start to make relationships with things we already know, learning gets so fun that we just want to do more. Oh, well, that's great. Well, that means that if I take 9 apples and 8 more apples, I'd have 72 apples, right? Have fun with your learning, and your learning will pay dividends to you and the people that you interact with on a daily basis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am by now, please let me introduce myself. I'm Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always such a privilege and pleasure and honor to be with you guys. I hope you'll like, love, and support the channel. Comment below, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates, share this out with everyone on social media, and I'll catch you guys real soon on another Inspirations for Your Life show, or perhaps maybe even another one of my shows, or perhaps a short form or other long form content. Have yourself an amazing evening, everyone. I'll catch you real soon.